this one. Dickin' Around. Cool. So this intense one is actually a MIDI clip I looped, created a while ago for a song that I'm working on, and I didn't like the way it sounded, so... Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Drew from Enjoy Hoi Polloi, here with some ideas to help you make better music, get it out, and get it heard. So recording this today, this is kind of part 2 on the sound design of analog leads that I had done last week. I wanted to just follow up with that with a little bit more information about what I do once I get the lead sound into the DAW, how I play around with it a little bit. So, without further ado, here we go. So just a real simple arpeggio. Now what I'll do is I'll actually record that onto this section here, and it's going to go like this. And then we trim you. And since it was slightly screwed up in terms of latency, let's just do this. Alright, so warp settings on. I just want to click on the first transient here. And now we are roughly in time. Make sure this one isn't playing. Now we can trim this up. Alright, cool. So that's not going to play now. So now this is an 8-bar clip. Alright, cool. So we can actually work with that. What I'll typically do is I will record a couple of different versions of this. So we'll just say this is dry, right? Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is record on, record on that one, but playing this one. So what I'll then do is go back to the sub 37 and spend some time dicking around with the settings on that. So you'll actually hear that as it gets played live. So for instance, I had a square wave and a sawtooth wave there. So maybe I'll put, if I want a really mellow sound, I'll put that back down an octave and just have a triangle and a triangle and a sawtooth. We'll see what that sounds like. Close the filter up all the way, just weird shit. Alright, so for this next one, I might want to do 2 square waves. So let's try that. Alright, and maybe for this next one, we'll go back to the saw wave, but we'll do it up an octave on both, and we'll have the filter all the way open. Now, you know what? Screw it. Let's keep the filter where it was and do it up, just do it up an octave. so that's that. Now let's go back down an octave and open the filter up. All right, and the next one, I don't fucking know. Let's just distort the hell out of it. All the multi-drive, all of it, all the way up. And filter wide open, and let's try some more resonance, just for fun. Okay, so that's that. Now we've got a couple of really sweet clips, 8-bar loops. And obviously, if I was doing this for a live track that I was really producing for and not just something for Ableton, or just for the sake of this video, I might do a couple of different iterations of that. I would obviously time adjust all of these. I'll shrink all of these up. What else? So let me go into some explanation about why I'm doing this. I think might be reasonable. So effectively what I'm trying to do with this is have a bunch of different types of clips so that I can have options that are all the same melody and they sound somewhat similar, but they're different timbres, right? So that I can use them interchangeably throughout the song, or, and this is something I learned from Rinzen's class, Mike tends to create what he calls super loops. So these are edits of all the different waveforms that you've created, kind of put together in a musical way so that they sound really cool. Cool. So what else? Okay, so first things first, let me talk a little bit about the chain. And again, the whole point with this stuff is to play around with it, fuck around with it, make some stuff that's cool. Sound design is the thing, and this I'll just go into this. The thing that I love the most about making electronic music is the fact that you literally control every aspect of the sound. It is completely up to you what the final output is, and you can completely manipulate it. You can make it sound distorted as hell. You can make it sound clean as hell. It's all up to you. You control every aspect of the sound from its initial creation to when you mix and master it and put it out there. So literally, it's your oyster, buddy. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. What I've got on this audio effects rack is a chorus. I've got Valhalla's Supermassive. If you don't have this, it's fucking free. Go download it. I would compare this loosely to Eventide's Black Hole. I think Black Hole, the algorithm that Eventide has in that is just freaking amazing. You know, conversely, you can use stock plugin. So, you know, any time-based effect here, you could use, you know, Ableton's Reverb. You could use Valhalla Vintage Verb with, you know, Valhalla delay behind it, or vice versa. Yeah, fuck around with it, play around with it, make something cool. If you've got a favorite delay, you got a favorite reverb, throw it on there, blah, 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 blah. Now, in this chain, again, the whole point is to make the song, make the sound that you're making sound cool to you. It's your sound. And then, obviously, when you start putting these songs into a track, you'll have to manipulate it slightly so that you are making the sound fit the track, designing the sound specific to the track. Bear with me just a moment, guys. I think my kid's waking up. Life of a musician dad, huh? You're doing sound design, so you want to make the sound unique to you. You want it to make it yours. You want to make it fit the song. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. Typically, I do my sound design separate from my track work. So when I'm doing arrangement, I've already designed some sounds that I think will be cool. And sometimes when I'm just, you know, jamming out ideas or creating song ideas, I'm not even thinking about sound design. I'll use like a basic ass patch or a synth or in a piano or whatever, lay out my track, and then go back through it after the fact and redo sound design. Okay. So what are we doing in this? We're using a mono synth, so throwing on some chorus. Let me just do these right now so you can actually hear it live. So that's the dry signal, mono signal. So throw on some chorus and you automatically get a little bit more width. It makes it seem like it has more voices. It's a little bit fatter. Versus just kidding. Alright, so added some chorus. Next, I will typically, there's a couple different ways I would do this. So I have super massive on there because I want this to be like super ambient and just like noise out in the middle of space. But other ways I would typically throw that in would be to throw in a delay and follow that up by a reverb. And I'll just show you what that sounds like here. Already instantly cooler. But just so you guys can hear what supermassive sounds like. And actually, you know what? I liked the way the delay and the reverb sounded better. Now, of course, you can, obviously, I'm using stock plugins in this instance. You could throw in that and vintage reverb. Obviously, I would go through and play around with these settings, but for now, I actually really liked the way that the stock stuff sounded on this, so that's what we're gonna rock with. One of the cool things you can do with Ableton's reverb is this freeze button. This is something that Eventide's Black Hole has as well, but this is fun. So check this out. And the reverb goes on forever. Okay, yeah. So you get the point there. But I like that. I think I'm going to do like a 2.5 second decay time. I'm using Valhalla because I absolutely love this verb. This reverb plugin is flippin' sweet. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of my own preset settings on here. There's a lot of cool stuff on here already, and typically when I'm making a reverb anyways, I will custom make it to the sound that I want anyway. But I want something kind of bright. So let's actually start with the bright hall. Actually, just because it has a very nice name. Let's start with the very nice hall. Obviously, since we're not doing this on a send, I typically keep the mix below 35. Anywhere in this range is pretty good. Wow, that's a lot of pre-delay. Let's just see what this sounds like. Alright, that's pretty cool. I like that. Alright, let's leave that there. I don't know why I always pick this. I seem to pick this delay setting pretty frequently. I really wish I understood this in terms of the notes. I'm guessing this is whole, this is half note, triplet, quarter. Yup. 8th note, 16th note? Okay, sure. If anyone wants to throw an explanation of that in the comments, please, by all means. Thank you. So read the fucking manual is basically, I think, the comments I'm going to get on that. Anyway. Alright, so, yeah, we've got a chorus, we've got a delay, we've got a reverb. That's really making this synth sound really fucking cool already, right? So, what else might I do? I might put on a compressor. I like the CLA 76. People complain about this one constantly because they say it has a lot of noise. You know, do whatever the fuck you want. I like this compressor. So I actually opted to throw that in at the beginning to compress the sound as soon as it's coming out of the synthesizer before it hits the effects. It just sounds a little bit better in my opinion. So, once again, recapping. We have a compressor. We have chorus to give it some more space. Sorry, let's try that again. We have a compressor to make the sound squashed. We have a chorus to... let's try this again. We've got the CLA 1176 emulation from Waves here to tame the peaks a little bit and give it a little bit of a crunch. We then have a chorus to expand the mono synth sound, give it a little bit more of a space. Further doing that with delay and reverb, so now it's kind of really wet, it's out there. Last on this chain would be to add some saturation to give it a little bit of crunch. Ableton Saturator is fantastic, has a ton of different controls. If you really want to get well into designing a specific saturation sound, this is really simple. Soft Tube's saturation knob literally has 3 settings. The amount of saturation, whether you're going to keep it high, neutral, or low. So what we have so far, and what we've got, and now what we've got with the saturator. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool to me. All right, so that's basically it for my process to create a bunch of different options for um, audio information coming to the Sub 37, coming out of an analog synthesizer into Ableton. But what do we do when we have all of these clips? So basically, what I'll actually do is I'll take these and just go to the track I want to look them in. Boom. Now they're all there, and you can collectively split them out into their own track. Yeah, so each of these is subtly different, and what we can do is actually go through and mute all of these to kind of see what we like in terms of an overall like super take. I'm actually going to create one more audio track here. It's blank, and we'll call this one super take. Now you can go through and solo each of these to understand what it is, what each of these ones are if you didn't label them appropriately, like I didn't, because I'm an idiot, and it's late and my son just woke up. But yeah, so I think this one was this first one was the sawtooth waves, right? But then we've also got this. We've also got this. See, they all sound somewhat similar, but they're all slightly different. And what you can actually do is just cut and paste sections of these out. So like maybe we want, the first note to be this one, and then we go to that one, and then we do, oops. I like to preserve the original. Just, fuck around with it. So, this one over here, go up there, and now we have this. Oh, that sounds really cool, actually. Yeah, so basically you get the idea. Then, effectively, you could go through all of that, create a super take out of chopped up sections of each of these pieces. But yeah, then I could effectively go through and do similar things for each of these. So, it's playing the exact same MIDI notes. So you just got to go through and cut up each of the pieces you want here. So maybe I'll switch, maybe instead of doing that, we'll do, like this one as the second piece, and this one as the fourth piece, right? And then, yeah. And the cool thing about this is you could literally create umpteen million different variations on that melody, and do it with different filter types. You can do it with different waveforms. You can do it with differing levels of distortion. You can do it with different synthesizers, for fuck's sake. But the cool thing is that you'll end up with something that's completely unique. No one will ever have done that before because it's your specific sound. Thanks again for watching, guys. Again, if you enjoy any of the content I put on this channel, please do subscribe. Give me a like on the videos specifically that you like, and definitely throw some comments down in the comment section below. I love reading what you have to say. I do respond back to you. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.